And it should show up on here. And yeah, no. Let's see how it works out. I believe, as of this very moment, that we are live. I'm just going to double check and make sure YouTube responds. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. There we go. We're live.
Are we? All right.
Yeah. Okay. So I just shut that part off. I haven't used StreamYard in so long. So, hello, everybody. It's your old pal, Rob, and I am with the legend himself. When you talk about war games and you talk about any kind of games, when you talk about zombies, there's only one man that you could possibly mention, and that is the legend himself. The glory, the glow, the man, Hermann Luttmann.
Hey, everybody.
Brother, all right, so you know something? If you are a war gamer, what's that?
I said you're looking good.
I am. I'm one handsome.
You got over your sniffles and your boo-boo?
I'm trying to put weight on. You know, it's a funny thing. The funny thing, since I was so sick and I dropped down to I think it was like 198 at one point.
Yeah, you could tell on the screen that you.
Oh God, I looked horrible. And then trying to talk and then try to keep this channel going.
Yeah.
I got up to about 216 and I said, yeah, here we go. You know, at the gym, working hard. I weigh myself today. I'm back down to 212. I'm eating too good. I'm eating too clean. I mean, what the hell am I doing? I should just be shoving pizza in my face like there's no tomorrow. Ken, how are you? TT Life, Jose, Clint, Bill, Dave. Who else? Captain Carl. Good to see you, my good friend. All right, listen, guys.
Hey, everybody.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make this. Mark, how are you? He says, "What's up, everyone?" Well, I'm gonna tell you what's up.
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, if you are a war gamer, this may not be the stream for you, because today we are going to be talking about the mighty GMT and the collaboration that they had with our own resident genius. Okay. Hermann Luttmann, yeah, or on this side. See, I got to get used to
I know.
Back on. It's been a while, brother. But we're going to be talking about the Plum Island Horror, which is on the P500 as we speak. Okay. And if I have to, boom, look at that.
Wow. What professionalism. Right. Look at that.
Professionalism. That's unheard of. We're at 356. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you guys don't go out and get this, shame on you. All right? Because number one, Herman's going to tell us about it. And then at the very end of our show, towards the end, we're going to be giving away. What are we going to be giving away, Hermann?
Oh, do you want me to reveal it?
Oh, why not?
Okay. We're going to be giving away a copy of In Magnificent Style.
Autograph.
Which is out of print. So very rare.
Out of print. Out of print. But most importantly,
out of stock, actually.
Out of stock. Let's put it that way. From Worthington, correct?
Correct. This is
how's he doing, by the way?
Oh, he's doing a much better.
Good.
Grant Wiley.
Grant, yes. Grant.
Yeah. He had surgery and everything's going great, and he apparently is cancer free now.
Oh, thank God. Great guy. Raymond, how are you? Novice John, how are you? So, listen. Tell us a bit about this game. Let's really break this down a bit. Now, the Plum Island Horror, what's it all about? What are some of the things that are going on with this? Well,
actually, it's interesting. War gamers actually should like this game.
Okay.
There's a lot of conflict simulation in it. So this is a design that Gene Billingsley and I talked about, my goodness, 8 years ago at Consum World Expo. He was always a fan of Dawn of the Zeds. And if you remember back in the old days, what's that?
Who isn't?
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's only probably the greatest zombie game ever made.
Thank you. And if you remember back in the early VPG days, VPG's better games like No Retreat and Napoleonic 20 would eventually go to GMT, and they would do like a deluxe boxed edition of these games.
Right.
So Gene and I had even talked about doing Zeds back then as possibly a GMT game.
Mm-hmm.
using that system that they had established, which was very successful for them, for both companies.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, that had all fallen apart and everything. And so, I mean, Gene and I stayed in touch over the years, and then I just finally came up with this. I don't want to say it's a new version of Zeds because it's not really, but it is thematically the same as Zeds, right?
Mhm.
But this design is more influenced by my work on A Spoiled Victory and Miracle at Dunkirk. So the two Dunkirk games that I
Mhm.
had, one's already published by White Dog Games, and the other one is going to come out for Legion War Games soon. So when I was working on Dunkirk, I realized, that game
You got your brother's back on that one, right?
The game is basically an evacuation game. It's not so much a war game, right? The game is about evacuating these soldiers from Dunkirk, and not so much about defeating the Germans. You're not going to defeat the Germans, but your job is to evacuate as many people as you can. So when I was working on those, hey Kabuki, I said, well, wow, this would be kind of a cool way to do a horror game, right? With these monsters advancing on a seaside town and trying to evacuate these people, right? And holding back the horde. So that eventually evolved into what is the Plum Island Horror. And it has some similarities to Dawn of the Zeds. Is Dawn of the Zeds still available? I don't think so. But
I don't think so
think
either.
they're going to do a Kickstarter. I think they're going to do another version of it.
Fourth version?
I'm the last to know, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
I know. One of the things about that though isn't Victory done?
Well, they were taken over by Tabletop Tycoon.
Okay.
So it's actually Tabletop Tycoon that's publishing Dawn of the Zeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it happens.
Well, and the third edition, honestly, I had really nothing to do with the third edition because the third edition is really the first and second edition and the expansion stuck together. And then Alan Emmerich and his crew did the cooperative because if you remember, Zeds originally is a solitaire game, right?
Right.
So Alan,
which I like better.
Right, and Alan and his group did a cooperative version of it, which is the third edition. So, Plum Island Horror is designed as a cooperative game, but can be played solo. So you can play from 1 to 4 players.
So let me ask you something, because this is one of the things that you always kind of run into. GMT is, for the most part, a wargaming company, even though, some of my favorite games from them are the sci-fi things, like Space Corp, Space Empires, which I'm just looking at up there.
Right. You got Dominant Species,
Urban
Sprawl, and some people
Apocalypse
say
Road.
Twilight Struggle could arguably considered a non-war game, right?
Right. What was it hard to not so much pitch this game, but to present this game with this company? Because
that's a good question, because I think that's one of the reasons it took so many years to have it get done. I think the market's changed, right?
Right.
I think the gaming world has changed quite a bit. I think companies like GMT and others realize that there's a whole huge section of the gaming market that they can tap with this kind of game. And admittedly, it's risky. Of course it's risky. I mean, you're dealing with a company that does 95% of their games are hardcore war games. But my feeling is that, and I've always said this for a long time, is that war gamers really shortchange themselves if they don't go out and explore other types of games. And you are a perfect example of that. I mean, I watched your play of Tomb of Annihilation yesterday and absolutely loved it. And what you'll find with the Plum Island Horror is that you're gonna find mechanics that I learned about playing Aeon's End and Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Great game.
Aeon's End is a fantastic game. Not a war game, but it's a fantastic game. So, for example, the whole way we do turn order in Plum Island Horror is basically was modeled on what Aeon's End does, which is basically you draw cubes from a bag, and either you're going to go, your faction's going to go, or the horrors are going to go, or some kind of weird event's going to happen. So you never know in what order your turn is going to proceed. So, I mean, that adds so many different types of dynamics to the game, and tension and strategy. Another example of that would be the follow mechanic, which I first encountered with Tiny Epic Galaxies, where I do my turn, and then the other players around the table can follow me. All right. So Tiny Epic, I think you have to do the same thing that the person did, right? The same type of action. In Plum Island Horror, what you do is I do my turn, and if you're sitting to the left of me, Rob, you can say, I'm going to follow, and you're allowed to do one action. Right? Now, so this is during my turn, by the way. So the risk in doing that is that you have to pull a card and find out if you trigger an event. If you don't trigger an event, then the person sitting next to next to you can do an action and follow, and they have to pull a card. If you pull an event, the follow mechanic stops. You have to resolve the event, and all the events are bad. So there's actually a push your luck element in there, and it keeps everybody around the table interested, because even though it's my turn, you have to pay attention to what I'm doing and decide, well, I'm going to take a risk because I really want to shoot at those guys. So I'm going to try to follow Hermann and push my luck and hopefully pull this off without setting off a bad event.
It sounds glorious. We've got to get it funded. We're 144 away, okay, from the P500. So
I think Kabuki's going to order 144 copies.
Well, Kabuk, we need you to order at least 143, and I might even go crazy and order one myself. Okay, one of the things I wanted to ask you: how is it working with a fantastic company like GMT? Like you said, I've only dealt with Rachel, who is, I mean, anything that you need, anything that you want, they're there for you. I mean, from top to bottom, professionalism to no end. This is a great, fantastic company. I mean, we always talk about the people that we know and that we really like, the Mark Walkers, that's been great. Grant, who you've been working with lately. And then, you come into, let's call it the giant elephant, the big boys. How do you enjoy working with a top-notch organization as such?
It's an interesting experience because I'm dealing with a lot more people than I used to deal with. Well, for example, for Most Fearful Sacrifice, and by the way, thank you for everybody who supported that Kickstarter. It's doing great, and we're waiting for the printer files. It's just Mark Walker and I talking about the game and getting it set up and organized and all that. So with Plum Island Horror, I'm dealing with first Jason Carr, who is the head of the development teams there and the playtesting teams, and then they assign me Ken Kuhn, who's the actual developer for my game, assigned by GMT, and he's the one now that's running the playtesting and sending it out to all these people. So we had 30 people offer to playtest the game after the first day. I'm not used to having 30 playtesters for any of my games, man. That's a lot.
It's usually you.
It's great. I mean, it's great. So and the Billingsleys have been fantastic. The whole family is involved in the business. I sent a copy of Plum Island Horror to Luke, who actually happens to live in Nashville, Tennessee now. So he's only 3 hours away from me. And he actually played a prototype of the game with his family, and Gene played it, and everybody loved it. So it was that initial feedback that I got from them that said, well, I'm on the right track, because if they like it, if they feel it's part of the GMT family, then I know I'm on the right track with it, right? So they started me off right away feeling at least positive about the design. Then Ken came in, and we talked about, we went through so many. You people, you should know how many times game designs get altered during the course of their
twists, turns.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I can't even tell you how often a game gets modified and edited and changed. And I'm talking about sometimes significant parts of it. But that's all part of the development and testing process, right? I mean, if you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong. If you're submitting it as a game designer, if you're submitting a design and the publisher's just taking it as it is and throwing it out there, I guarantee you there's something wrong with it. You need that kind of feedback in the development and testing to talk about, like, you know what you want to do conceptually, but you might not even have the best mechanic for what you want to do conceptually. Somebody else is going to give you some feedback to make you think about it a little differently. And you go, you know what, that's a great idea. If I just do this, you know what I mean? So you're constantly massaging the design and working on it. So GMT has been great for doing that.
Yeah, you know, and you look at their catalog and all the people that they work with, it's just unbelievable how they can just crank out things the way they do. And it's always top quality. So, you know, Plum Island Horror is going to be, and the price for it, I mean, the P500 price, 64, that's not bad.
Yeah, and you know, we you know, Ken and I talked about it.
Let's take a look at the regular price. Hold on.
Oh, by the way, Ken, I don't think they charge your card until it actually, you'll get an email.
Yeah, so I think somebody answered they don't charge until it ships.
Right. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
So everybody, run out, charge it up, charge 2, 3.
You never know.
You never know. Let's make this happen.
Component wise, Ken and I talked about legitimately, we wanted to have a little of everything in there. So it has standees for your player units, okay? So that because they literally stand out, so you recognize them right away. The civilians, I think, are going to be round counters. The horrors, the bad guys, are going to be these thicker tiles, okay? And we're going to have custom combat dice. We have, 3 decks of cards. We've got cubes. So, I mean, we threw every component in there that we could think of to make the game attractive and you know.
I mean, look at it. It looks glorious.
Well, we don't even have any, I'm going to be honest with you, we don't even have any art out yet for it. That's the cover.
Well, I mean, the cover of it, you know, reminds me of about 9 million comic books that I have.
Right, and that's the whole idea. We're going with that 50s horror vibe thing. And the other thing you should probably know is that the game. So we're marketing the game as I keep referring to it as the most realistic simulation in the GMT catalog, because of course I did all this in-depth research and interviewed people who were at the Plum Island Horror, so I got firsthand accounts of everything that happened there. So it's going to be historically accurate down to everything. So we're going to market it as that. The game is very tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
You'll see that in the events and the people. There's even this crazy unit called Oren's Pump You Up Jim. It's one of the civilians.
Oh, yeah.
So I've managed to get most of the people that are either friends of mine or podcasters in the gaming industry in there, and so there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff in there. The events are I had such a ball designing this game because I was doing the event cards, and I was laughing myself sick as I was coming up with these things. So
listen, I give you full rights to use my name and everything like that. You heard it here first. But you know, looking at that cover, were you influenced by a lot of the horror comics of the 50s? I mean, look at your resume here.
No, me personally, no. But for me, like with Zed's, a horror game should have that vibe. It just matches what I'm trying to do, which is, you know, I don't want to make it scary and gory and disgusting for people to play. I want to make it tongue-in-cheek and they're laughing while they're playing it and they're having a good time. You know, one of the reasons I'm doing this game with GMT is, you know, we really felt that war gamers and general gamers would want something like this on their shelves. It's a break from doing, you know, 8 hours of the Battle of the Bulge, and now maybe you want to play a game with your spouse or your kids or your friends who aren't war gamers, and you just have a good time and have a blast doing a co-op.
You know, and it's a funny thing because you and I talk quite often, you know, and, you know, your interests vary so much. You know, you're just not some guy that's sitting there playing war game after war game after war game after war game, even though you love them as much as I do, you know?
Right.
But, you know, it really comes down to a couple of things. How many times can you play Stalingrad?
Yeah.
How many times can you play the Bulge? How many times can you do certain theaters that eventually, you know, how you go, okay, there's nothing new that you could do here. Okay. And you kind of branch out and you kind of look for different things. And, you know, I mean, as much as I love war games, and I always will, you know, one of my favorite designs of yours is Zeds.
Right.
I mean, I never played Zeds until I got to know you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring this in. And it's probably one of my favorite games. I mean, it's in my top 25 easy.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think...
Boy, did I butter your bread right there, pal.
Oh, yeah. You did a great job there. You know, it's interesting. As a game designer, so I just finished A Most Fearful Sacrifice, which is about as serious and detailed a war game as you can get, right?
Which I had a chance to do the video for that.
Right. Yeah, we sent you the prototype, yes.
Yeah, you sent me the prototype? Oh, my God.
Right. So when you go through something like that, and don't let people kid you, doing a serious war game like that and doing it correctly and in detail and getting it right, that's a couple of years of hard work. Get it? Because I did so much book reading and checking the reinforcement schedules and cross-referencing, like when was this brigade here and that brigade there. It goes on and on and on. So doing then a game like Plum Island Horror or Invaders from Dimension X, or, you know, those kinds of games.
Oh, Invaders.
Right. Where you can just sit back and just design the game, right? And do whatever crazy ideas come into your head, because you can justify anything in sci-fi or fantasy, right? As long as it's internally logical within the game, you can come up with anything, right? So I think as a designer, it opens up your options of, you know, what can I create? What can I do mechanics wise? You know, it's not a Bulge game, so I'm not stuck to this, or I'm not, you know, the Gettysburg game, I'm stuck with this.
Right.
Like you say, what can you do? And, you know, a lot of people, when people ask me about being a game designer, I always say, design what you love. And don't think you have to design a Bulge game because Bulge games sell. If you're going to design a Bulge game or a Normandy game or a Waterloo game or a Gettysburg game, right, you have to come up with something unique, right? Something,
and you guys did, which you know, how many Gettysburg games are out there? I mean, I don't even think we could put a number on.
There's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot. But if you're going to go down that road, you better do something different. Right.
Yeah. And I really felt you did with that. And first of all, the map, I forgot the guy's name who was.
Oh, Rick Barber just passed away. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's a real historical study.
Yeah.
And once you've grinded through that, doing a game like Plum Island Horror is just, it's freeing in a way. You know, you just get your creative juices back in gear and you can do what you like. How heavy is it in comparison to Zeds? It's one rule book. It's, I think it's a lot easier to play than Zeds, to be honest with you.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I decided to do something here. Okay. And, well, you know, what can I say? It's what I do.
All
right.
Is this risky?
Yeah. First of all, wow, look at that photo, huh?
Holy crap.
You handsome devil, you. You handsome devil, you. This is your entire catalog of games, you know, according to BGG. I want you to make a top 5
Oh no.
of your games here. Now I'm going to read them off just in case you forgot a couple that
Well, using what criteria? Top 5 of my favorite that I designed?
Yeah, top 5 favorite that you designed. So in 2018, we have at any cost.
Should I write these down as you go?
Well, you should know these. These are yours.
Oh, I forget them, believe it or not. You should see me on BBG when people are asking me rules questions. I forget.
Believe me, I could play. I played a game yesterday. I think I already forgot the rules. Attack of the 50-Foot Colossus, which was another good one in 2018.
Right.
Crowbar. You had a big. You had a couple of big years here. Crowbar. The Rangers. God bless me if I can say it.
Point du
la Hawk. Yeah. Dawn of the Zed, of course. They got the second edition. That doesn't count. Well, we could have you take a look at the first and second edition and tell us which one you like better. Third edition, they more or less mashed everything together, right?
Right.
So we don't count that one. Okay. Dead Reckoning from 2016. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Tiny Battle. Yeah.
Okay. The Devil to Pay. Which was the first day at Gettysburg, which was a great game that you put out for Flying Pig. Escape from Hades. Now,
That's actually Fred Manzo's design. I just developed that one.
Gettysburg, Wheatfield, the Wheatfield.
My very first game.
Okay. High and Tight, the baseball game.
The rare High and Tight there.
The rare High and Tight.
A collector's item, yes.
In magnificent style, Pickett's Charge at Gettysburg.
All right.
Okay. Invaders from Dimension X. I think that was the second one in the series because it was a trilogy, wasn't it?
Yes. So that was the first one.
Oh, the first
Vermin,
one.
Right. Space Vermin from Beyond is the second one, and Colossi was the third one.
Okay. Invaders from Dimension X, Harvester of Souls? Was that an expansion that you threw out?
Yeah, that was an expansion that was in Yeah Magazine, I believe.
Nice. All right, let's take a look here. Longstreet Attacks, the second day at Gettysburg.
That's everybody's favorite Blind Swords game.
Okay, all right. Miracle at Dunkirk?
Yeah, I was just working on that earlier today.
Okay.
That's coming out for Legion War Games by the end of the year.
Thank you, Novice John. I just saw that you gave us a couple of super stickers. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. More than you'll ever know. A Most Fearful Sacrifice. That's the one that we got coming from Flying Pig.
Right.
With Mark Walker. How soon does he think he's going to have that done?
He's waiting to get the printer proofs back now. So
wow.
If
he just cranks things. When he gets on something, he just cranks things.
Yep.
All right, Plum Island, we're not going to count because it's not out. So we're not going to count Gettysburg or Plum Island.
Right.
All right. Am I getting feedback here? Hold on here. Is anybody hearing me double?
I hear you fine.
Okay. It's got to be these earphones. All right. Position.
Yeah, I did that for Paper Wars.
Okay. Race to the Sea.
Oh, yes. Race to the Sea.
1914.
Yeah, that was a Yeah Magazine game. It became a box game, and I believe a Japanese company also bought the rights to it and has it in a Japanese war game magazine.
Oh, man, you were just selling out. Okay. A Spoiled Victory.
Right, that was a Dunkirk game for White Dog, yes.
Yeah. Steamroller, Tannenberg. That was 200,000.
That came after a race to the Sea.
Okay. Stonewall. Yep. Stonewall Sword.
Right, the first one I did for Revolution Games.
Okay. And then Thunder in the Ozarks.
That was the second one I did for Revolution Games.
Okay. Give us your top 5 out of that, brother. See, not everything's there because where's the Vermin one?
Because technically Fred is listed as the designer of that one and I'm the developer.
Okay. All right.
So, I don't know how Escape from Hades got in there then. I don't know how I don't know what criteria they use to stick them in there, but
who knows? Who knows? Top 5.
All right, top 5. I'm going to have to go obviously with Zeds. People should know. People always ask me
number 1.
Yeah, well, for a lot of reasons, because it was the second game I ever designed. It's my most successful game sales wise by a huge margin. You could take all the war games I've designed, add them together, and multiply them by 5, and they still wouldn't add up to how many Zeds have been sold. Yeah.
That's why you need to get Plum Island.
After that, I would say at any cost.
Oh, okay.
That was a real labor of love. That game took me a lot of work. I put a lot of research in there. I did a playbook for that was just a historical booklet. It's probably the most complex war game I've ever designed. It's about a campaign that's never been done in a war game before, about the Metz campaign from the Franco-Prussian War. So I'm really proud of that one. Thank you, Rob. I will go with I think Invaders from Dimension X after that, only because that game was an absolute blast to design. Fred and I designed that on a weekend, and we just laughed the whole time we did it. It was designed on a dare. You know Jeff McAleer from the Gaming Gang, right? Yeah. We met at Console World Expo, and we were talking, and he dared me to design a game that was based totally on chaos.
That's right. You had told me this.
Yeah. So that's why I'm sorry. That's why Dimension X got designed. Okay. After that, I will say in magnificent style, because that was one of my earlier designs, and it's one of the designs that somehow has kept going after all these years. Even the original version was people still wrote me about it. And that's the reason there's a deluxe version, because Grant Wiley from Worthington played it and absolutely loved it. And he reached out to me and goes, "Hey, does anybody have the rights to this?" And I go, "Well, no, not really." So he said, "Can we do a new version of it?" So that's actually been very rewarding. And then I'll go with, I guess, Longstreet Attacks, because Longstreet Attacks which is about the second day of Gettysburg. Everybody loves that game, all the Blind Swords ACW games, because it's got all the iconic battles from the second day of Gettysburg in there. So you got Devil's Den, you got the Peach Orchard, you got the Wheat Field, you got Little Round Top. All that is crammed into that one game.
So, I mean, that first of all, I'm surprised that Crowbar didn't hit that. And I had to ask you, which we are giving away, which you guys are going to want to stick around here. Towards the end of the show, we are going to be giving away a copy of Magnificent Style autograph. Go ahead, you can pick it up and show it.
Oh,
come on, and you got you got it up right.
I will autograph it if you want it autographed.
If you want it autographed, we'll autograph. Leo, thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother.
If you want it still in its wrapping, untouched, I will send it to you that way too.
There you go. So we are going to be doing the dice game we haven't done in a long time, and I'm excited.
Tumbling dice.
Yeah, you know how that works out. So, and we got Kabuki here, so how can we go wrong? You know how she keeps everything nice and neat here.
Absolutely.
So I got to ask you,
yeah,
what is the game that you hated the most that you designed out of that entire list, and why?
That I hated the most?
Yeah, the one that you liked the least. Now everybody loves what they do, but I mean, there's got to be something that you go, man, this wasn't as enjoyable, or maybe you didn't like how the final design came out, or whatever.
Oh dear, that's an interesting question.
Well, this is Rob's tabletop world. What did you expect?
Yeah, this is Rob throwing curveballs at Hermann and missing.
Yeah.
I would say
high and tight, brother. High and tight. I threw it high and tight.
Well, High and Tight was my least successful of all my games.
Okay.
Let's put it that way, because it was a little bit too far out of the box.
And why is that?
Because I tried to design a game that was totally different than anything anybody's played before as far as baseball games. I wasn't just going to do Stratomatic again, or
Right.
or any of those others. So I tried to really think outside the box and do something very abstract. I was on the right path with it, and I think it might have gone too abstract.
Huh.
So I'm actually going to do another baseball game one day, because I had the right basic ideas for this design, and I think I went off the rails a little bit, and so I'm kind of I know more about designing now than I did then, and I'm going to do a baseball game one of these days, because that's going to be talk about labors of love. I'm just going to do it, and if anybody wants to publish it, they can publish it. If not, I'm just still going to do it, because I love baseball. And,
right.
I think my toughest game might have been the second edition of Zeds, because when it first came out, they had a different map artist than Tim Allen doing it.
Right.
And it was unplayable.
Oh, really?
It was published with a map that even I, as the designer, got lost on.
Huh.
So what happened was with that is that Tim Allen did a new version of the map modeled on the first edition map, and then it was fine. Oh, good. I got one sale. Thank you, Jim.
See, there you go. Which is how many more than High and Tight?
Yeah, I'm already doubled the sales figures.
No, and the funny thing about it is that you look at all the games that you've come out with, and every one of them has the most common theme that you can put it down, play it, and it's not overly complicated. I mean, you're not looking at brain salad surgery.
I hope not. And
ELP there, Kabuki, ELP.
Yeah, I saw them live.
Oh, I did too. I did too.
Yep.
Matter of fact,
amazing.
Oh God, jeez. Head of their time.
Oh, absolutely. I still remember him playing the organ upside down. He had that circular thing.
Oh, yeah. That guy is just. They just don't make music like that anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't get us started on this.
The other thing, yeah. So yes, playability is definitely one. I try to be as unique as I can be. I didn't want to just pump out a bunch of hex and counter war games that had locking Zocs and odds tables, and you roll a d6 and blah blah blah.
How did that? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So as you kind of mentioned the other day on one of your shows, for me, gaming is escapism, right? It's like I've just trudged through 2 jobs, and when I play my game, I want to escape. I want to go on an adventure.
Right.
So the whole idea of historical chaos in my games for my war games was the idea of like, I'm still going to have an adventure and play a war game, right? So I didn't like war games that were, I'm sitting here trying to calculate where I can get 3-to-1 odds as opposed to 2-to-1 odds, as opposed to 3-to-2 odds. And, where can I get that one extra factor? I didn't want to do all that. I wanted to go out there and have an adventure. And I wanted my games to play like the history books that I was reading. So that's the whole emphasis for the blind sword system, was that things happen on battlefields that you don't expect. And when I was playing my war games, everything was like chess. Everything was out in the open, and it was just mathematical calculations. There was none of that drama, right? None of that narrative, none of that unknown going on in my war games. And I was like, always, well, how come my games can't play like this chapter I just read about the wheat field at Gettysburg, where these guys didn't know what was happening, where the enemy was coming from. They shot at the wrong guys. Some hogs went through some wheat and they thought it was the enemy and they shot at the hogs. Like all this kind of stuff's going on. How come it's not happening in my games?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole impetus to doing blind swords, where your chits are being pulled and you don't know what's going to come up. You don't know when you're going to get that event. Sometimes your enemy's going to move your unit for you, which represents that regimental commander doing something on his own. So you, as a player, like the commanders did then, have to deal with that, right? That colonel left his position, or that colonel charged across that open field because he thought the enemy was retreating. Now what do I do? So you take that and you put it into, Invaders from Dimension X or Plum Island Horror or Zeds, and you say, well, where's the adventure? I'm playing a game and I want to be excited. I want to be surprised. I want to be challenged. I want to cry. I want to laugh, the whole thing.
Right.
I just don't want to have another exercise in, if I was an accountant for 40 something years. If I'm working on a spreadsheet and crunching numbers all day, I don't want to go home and play a game where I'm looking at a spreadsheet and crunching numbers.
Right.
I want to go and have an adventure. I want to be in a movie. I want to be in a book. And that was the whole idea of me designing and my whole philosophy in a nutshell.
Now, in your body of work here, okay, you've covered Gettysburg about as much as anybody has covered.
Yeah, I think I have 5 games on Gettysburg. Yeah.
Okay. So out of that, which one are you, number one, you're most proud of? And which one do you feel that you finally got it right? Or
well, Most Fearful Sacrifice, definitely, because what happened with that was we did The Devils to Pay.
Yes.
Which was a simplified, upscale version of the blind sword system, because I needed something. As when you do chit pull, you can only go a certain distance with that before there become too many chits.
Right.
Yeah. So Longstreet Attacks, which was regimental, the entire second day of Gettysburg, that was about the maximum that we were going to get as far as acceptable numbers of chits in a cup.
Mm-hmm.
So, people kept asking me, well, what about when are you going to do more? Are you going to do all of Gettysburg? That's what I kept getting, was like, when are you going to do all of Gettysburg? Because all my games before that were just pieces of Gettysburg.
Yes.
So, Mark and I talked, and they said, people, after the Devils to Pay, a lot of people were asking me, well, what about the second day? And I go, well, I just designed a game on the second day. So I just said to Mark, I said, look, the heck with this, doing a second day to attach to the first day, and let's just do a Gettysburg. And if we're going to do it, let's do the ultimate Gettysburg game, right? A huge map, huge counters, everything included. I designed a new system so that instead of chits, you use cards, and it's much smoother. And that game to me is the ultimate representation of what I could do to Gettysburg.
To the point that some of the regiments, you actually changed some of the clothing on them to match historically.
That's Hermann the geek did that. Yes, because like you, I used to paint miniatures. I did Napoleonic and ACW miniatures back in the 90s, and I had thousands of castings. Did all the research on all the facing colors and all that stuff, so I knew who wore green uniforms, who were better dressed, who had Zouave uniforms, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Which when I was looking at that, and then you told me things that I just didn't know about, and I was just like, "Holy cow! This is just amazing!" Because I ended up going looking it up and reading about it.
Right. So, people who are into the Civil War know that the Irish Brigade had a Kelly green flag that they had, and that they carried into battle. And so I just told the artist, I said, it's not going to change gameplay. It's not going to matter that much, but can we put a green flag? Can we put the Kelly green flag on the Irish Brigade? Can we put this unit in Zouave uniforms? Because that's what they wore. And then my friend, one of the developers, Steve Pointinger, said he mentioned that one of the regiments had a dog as a mascot. So then I just dove in and we did some more research and found out that actually Rick Barber told me about one of them that I didn't know about a Confederate unit that had a dog mascot. So we said, let's put the dogs on there. So there's 3 units in the game that have their dog mascot that appears with them in battle. Again, these are just geeky details that, maybe people will appreciate, maybe people will ignore. Doesn't affect the game at all, but it adds even a subconscious immersion into the game narrative, right? So if you're going to do a Gettysburg game, make it look like it did at Gettysburg as much as you can.
Oh, and boy, I can't wait for this one. I really can't. But we're here for one reason, and one reason only, and that's this bad boy.
Right.
The Plum Island Horror on the P500 on the mighty GMT. Okay, listen. I'm going to make it real simple for you folks. All right, go pre-order this. You're not going to get charged until they ship it out to you. And I'm telling you right now, if it's done by GMT, it's going to be done to the highest class, and the components are going to be ridiculous, and everything is going to be meticulous like every other GMT game out there. All right? They are the 800-pound gorilla in the room all the time, okay? Because they do it right. Go out there, pre-order. Look, I think we've already got 5 already.
Thank you.
All right, we're up to 361. Come on, let's hit that 500. Let's make this happen, okay? I want this game. It's got a touch of Zeds. And you even said it's going to be easier than Zeds.
Yep.
Okay. It's going to be a lot of fun.
One thing I want to. So one reason. Yeah, one reason that this game's in the GMT catalog, and Rob, you know about this as well as I do. I discovered non-war games 3 years ago or so when I went to Origins, and I met you for the first time. And I knew nothing about, deck builders and dungeon crawlers and all that other kind of stuff. One thing that I really appreciate about the non-war game market is the fact that I was able to sit down with 3 of my friends and play a game together, right? So if I had 3 friends and we were playing war games, we would almost always have to just divide into 2 games of 1 against 1, right?
Right.
2-player games. Well, this other end of the hobby opened my eyes to, wow, this is a lot of fun to play with 4 or 5 people, and we're playing together cooperatively and trying to solve a problem at the same time, and right and work together for a change. And it was such a nice dynamic to enjoy that, and to do so in 2 hours, where you could play another game on your gaming afternoon.
And it's a funny thing, because we talk quite a bit, and like you'll shoot a text to me and say, "Hey Rob, I really like that playthrough that you did because of XYZ and stuff like that, and this seems like simpler." And we both are at that point where we've played so many complicated games that we find that that we're kind of reaching for things that are a little bit more challenging, yet simplified.
Right.
And
I just wrote to you yesterday because when I saw that you were doing Tomb of Annihilation, I almost jumped out of my chair, because I just discovered the Dungeons and Dragon adventure board games. I know they've been out there for a long time, but I never tried one. And just on a fluke, I decided to buy one and try it, and I absolutely love it. I can run 3 characters myself with that game, and I don't break a sweat playing that game. And that's what I really like about it. It's clever, it's still fun, and it's easy to play. And so it has all the elements that I'm looking for in games. And I mean, Plum Island Horror is designed with the same kind of idea, where we're like, we want to get all these elements in there, but we want you to finish the game in 2 hours, and we want you to have a good time doing it, and not, sweat over looking up modifiers and rules and all that kind of stuff.
And I agree wholeheartedly, because I run into the same thing. Is like, all right, I'm trying to keep everything down to under an hour and a half, an hour. Who wants to sit here and watch me play a game for 4.5 hours?
Exactly.
And I've done those things, and when I'm done, my brain's like mush. I don't mind them every once in a while. Like every Christmas. Talisman. My kids want to play Talisman, but they don't want to just.
Yeah.
They don't want to. It's always when they all get together. They go, "Let's play Talisman." I go, "Okay, let's just play the base game." No, let's add in all the expansions and everything.
And there's a lot of
they have like the greatest time in the world. But for me, somebody that does this almost every single day, it's kind of like, oh my God, this game will never end. Oh, there goes my voice.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons that we wanted to go down this road, because as I said earlier, is that the market, I think, even war gamers who want to play games with their family or their friends that are not war gamers, this kind of game is a game that GMT likes to have in a catalog, because it'll appeal to war gamers, but it'll also appeal to non-war gamers.
Oh, absolutely, and I love how they're going outside the box. You're up to 363. Keep it going, folks. Keep it going.
Thank you, everybody.
Come on now, let's get there. Let's get to the finish line. And it's only been up, what, 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days now, yeah.
4 days.
I'm actually very optimistic. I hate to say this because I want to jinx myself, but I'm very optimistic because we really haven't displayed. There's no graphics have been displayed yet. I just submitted my first Inside GMT article about the game. So their Inside GMT blog, that's where you really put all the articles about the details of the game design and aspects of the game. And we even got David Spangler, who did a lot of the fiction work on Zeds. He's going to actually write some fictional stories set in the Plum Island horror universe. So he's going to write narrative, just stories about what happened on the island. Of course, historically accurate stories of what happened on the island during this particular crisis. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Of fun.
You're going to want this. It's from GMT. It's from Hermann Luttmann. It's like the perfect marriage. You need to have this. I know I need to have it. I have to have it. And Herman, if I don't get a copy, you and I are going to have a problem.
You'll get one. Don't worry.
All right. Listen, we are going to give away a copy of In Magnificent Style. See, he's getting it now. It only took until the end of the show for him to get it. Tickets charged. You can have it autographed. So let me tell you how we're going to do this, okay? Oh, goodness. How are we going to do this? Because we're on, whatchamacallit. How did I do this before? Hold on. Well, you know what? I'm just going to roll a number, and I'll call the number. All right. You know what? I can actually even show you by pulling down the thing. All right. No problem.
What a professional.
Now listen, yeah, I know. Well, there's a way. You see, this is the thing that I don't like about this StreamYard. I can't have multiple cameras. So you and I can have that, and I can share my screen. But the thing that you can never have is multiple cameras. Oh, there's a way I can do it. Never mind. Hold on.
I knew he'd come up with a way.
Yeah, you know what it is? Because I forget how I used to do it. And now I just remembered. It's been a long time. Remember, the arm's been bad. If it could go bad, it went bad for me in the last
You're going to have more guests on. You know that, so you get really
well. You know something? I think we have a few guests that are going to be coming on. So, of course, I got it right. All right, we're all set there. So when I hit start now, each one of you are going to pick a number from 1 to 100. You can only pick one number. Okay? And it has to be in between the start now and the stop now. If you are outside of that, you are disqualified. If you pick more than one number, you are disqualified. If Mark doesn't like you, you are disqualified. You are out. Okay? So when you see start now come in that chat from Rob's Tabletop World, you are going to want to pick your number. I will roll on on 2 D10s. Okay? If I can hold them. This hand is dead still. Okay, you're you're doing your numbers now. If you're doing your numbers now and they're outside of the start now, you're going to be disqualified. Look at Kabuki. Look at Kabuki throwing down the hammer. You do not want the bionic elbow from our very own Kabuki. If she disqualifies you, you're going to be disqualified. She will pick you and disqualify you. When you see Start Now from Rob's Tabletop World. All right, here we go. There. Now, fire away. Hold on. Is it there? Oh, yeah, there it is. I didn't do it. Okay, there we go. Start now. Let's see. Let's look at the Christoph with 64. Jimmy with the 55, thinking I can roll double fives.
No
Timmy
way.
G6.
No way is he going to roll doubles.
Oh, look at Dennis with the 22. Captain Carl with 13.
13, of course.
Now, while all these numbers are happening, let me tell you, if two of you are equally distanced from the number, or if you both hit the number, we have a roll off of death. Now, we had about 45 to 50 people in here, and some of them left. They are not going to get a copy of Magnificent Style. Shame on you. We'll give it a little bit, but you better get your numbers in now before I hit that stop now. You know what they're all doing right now?
I have no idea.
They are going to get themselves a copy of the Plum Island Horror, like you guys should be doing from the Mighty GMT. Pre-order it. They don't charge a card until they ship it. It ain't going to hurt you. Let's get that P500. Let's get over it. Let's just get this game made. Let's make this happen. I mean, what more do I got to say? What more do I got to say?
You said it all.
I do try. I do try to say it all in one shot. All right, Leo's got 89. Captain Carl with 13. All right, we're going to give you just a few more seconds. Kabuki, you could throw a number in there, you know.
She was the first one, and she hasn't put a new number in yet?
Let's see. No, we've got no number from Kabuki. Kabuki, if you win, you win. It's a good feeling. Done. Can't have enough of Hermann's games. Okay. Oh, we just hold on. I'm going to actually put that up because Marcelo just went and pre-ordered that bad boy.
All righty. Thank you, Marcello.
Marcelo, we put you right up. I put a number in. I put in 99. Okay, I didn't see it, but don't worry.
Somebody was going to go 99.
Oh, it's always Kabuki. It's always Kabuki. And I've rolled 99 before.
Have you?
Yeah, I think Pete got it. Pete won it. Pete Shirey. All right, we're going to give it a few more seconds, and then once I put that stop now, that's it. You're done. I can't help you.
Nobody put 00?
Well, 00 is 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Or 0.
All right. It looks like I'm going to count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to stop now right there. Rob's Tabletop World, the only place that you can win stuff for just showing up. Just showing up. All right, let me go up here. Whoa. That's not what we... Hold on here. What did I do?
Oh, no. Did you erase everything?
No. Hold on. I just got to get the right camera. It's my Aviator. Okay. I went to switch screens in OBS, but we're not on OBS. All right. Oh, look at that, Herm. Look at that, huh?
Nice.
See? Let's get the cord out of the way so we can be somewhat...
What a pro. I am awed.
All right. This is your 10s. This is your 1s.
All right.
Okay. This is your 10s. This is your 1s. All right. We're going to roll them. All right. Hold on here. Let me just make sure. We have to stop now there. Yeah. Nobody tried to squeeze in an extra number. Who is going to win a copy of Magnificent Style? Autograph from the great Hermann Luttmann. And 85.
Oh, boy.
85.
Uh-oh, I think I know, huh?
Leo Juno with 89. He's 4 off.
Yep.
Kabuki was close. Hold on here. We're looking. I'm looking. 82.
Oh.
That's closer. That's 3 away. That's Ken Castle. Ken Castle. All right, here we go. All right, let's see if anybody got any closer. 79, 78, 61. My age, says John. 86.
Oh, no. Who's
Marcelo.
that? Marcel, really?
Marcelo, who just pre-ordered a copy. The gods that were listening and said yes.
You just put him up, too.
I just put him up. We're going to put up his number. If anybody sees anything closer, please let me know. But yeah, 85, 86, Marcelo. Congratulations. Let's get the official. Once Kabuki certifies the win.
The results.
Yeah, once she certifies the results, it's official. We're waiting on Miss Kabuki. It gave Marcelo good karma, I guess, ordering that. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. And it is officially, yes, it is officially certified by Kabuki. Wow. Congratulations, Marcelo. Marcelo, email me at novaprime860@hotmail.com, your address, where you live, and we will make sure that Herman gets that out to you.
Congratulations, Marcelo. Boy, the biorhythms were working there.
Man, let me tell you something. Do you see what happens when you pre-order a game from the mighty GMT?
You win in so many different ways.
You win in so many ways. If you pre-ordered and announce it, things are going to happen to you, especially on this channel. We make sure that things happen to you. Okay? So there you go.
Awesome.
Woo! Boy, we did it all in an hour. How about that?
That was fun. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun as always, and it goes by like that, my brother. Listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. One God, thank you for the donation. I just saw that. I apologize for the super sticker. Thank you. It helps in so many ways. Leo and everybody. A matter of fact, I'm going to be a nice guy. I'm going to do one Godzilla for everybody.
I was just going to say, you got to do Godzilla.
I got to do one Godzilla for everybody.
We're going to get music.
Only because we're running over time here. Let's do that. See, even Herman's there. Herman, what do you think? Do you think he's going to be?
I think we're going to get music. I feel music coming.
Do we feel the music coming, folks? All right. Do we feel the music coming?
Come on.
All right. Hold on. I got to get down to the bottom to see what everybody's saying. Okay, here we go. All right. This is for everybody. Thank you so much for the donations. They mean a lot to me, and they really help a lot. Thank you so much. Here we go.
Come on, Big G.
Come on, G. What do you say? Hold on. Oh, he got it.
Yes.
He knew, and he said, you know what? Because everybody was so kind.
That's right.
I'm going to do it this one time. We know he was stingy the last stream. He was horrible during our Wild West Exodus. He just said, no, I ain't giving you guys nothing.
Awesome.
That's cheap. All right. Listen, again, Herman, stay on the line for a few seconds. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this. Yeah, we'll come back and do some interviews. People that want to come on here, we'll make sure that we get them on here.
Thank you, everybody, for every week. I appreciate it.
The Plum Island Horror. Make sure that you back this up. This is a fantastic, fantastic experience. If it's done by Herman, you know it's going to be great. And you know, if GMT wants it, you know it's going to be fantastic. All right. When they go, hey, Herman, I want this. All right. When Gene plays it and goes, yeah, this is good. The guy's got something here. Go with it. Go pre-order it. Bring it home. Let's go. Let's make this happen. Again, thank you, everybody, for the support and everything. And until next time, first of all, from the great Herman Luttmann.
Thank you, everybody.
And from your old pal, Rob, remember, I love you all dearly. And until next time, we shall see you guys soon. Take it easy and later.